Have you ever wondered why Muhammad Ali, the legendary boxer known worldwide as the greatest, floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee not just in the ring, but in every aspect of his bold, unapologetic life? From his fearless stand against the Vietnam War draft to his charismatic trash-talking that captivated millions, Ali wasn't just a sports icon. He was a force of nature that redefined courage and self-expression for generations. In this video on Jung the Shadow Decoder, we're diving deep into a Jungian archetypal analysis of his life, exploring the ruling archetypal energy, those universal patterns of behavior embedded in our collective unconscious, that shaped his every move. We'll uncover the light and shadow sides of this archetype, drawing direct parallels to prove how it fueled his triumphs and struggles, and reveal how this same energy might be lurking in your own life, influencing your decisions without you even realizing it. But what exactly is this archetype, and why did it make Ali behave the way he did in ways that still puzzle and inspire us today? Stick around to find out, because by the end, you'll see reflections of this powerful force in your own story, unlocking insights that could transform how you face your challenges. Don't forget to subscribe to Jung the Shadow Decoder for more mind-bending psychological breakdowns that decode the shadows within us all. Before we dive deeper into Muhammad Ali's archetypal energies, let's take a moment for a brief yet insightful explanation of this complex and profound psychological concept known as archetypes. Drawing from the groundbreaking work of Carl Jung, archetypes are essentially universal patterns of behavior that reside deep within our collective unconscious, shaping how we think, feel, and act in ways that are remarkably similar across cultures and eras. Every human being carries these patterns, but one or a few often dominate as our ruling archetype, influencing our personality and life choices from the shadows of our mind. These patterns are intimately tied to our unconscious, that vast reservoir of thoughts and impulses below our awareness, which is why we often find ourselves behaving in inexplicable ways, driven by instincts or reactions that seem to come from nowhere, yet they stem from these archetypal forces pulling the strings behind the scenes. Carl Jung's importance in studying these energies cannot be overstated. As a pioneering Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, he delved into the human psyche like no one before, uncovering how these archetypes form the building blocks of our inner world and connect us to the myths, dreams, and symbols shared by humanity throughout history. Through his extensive research and observations, Jung was able to map out these energies, essentially defining and categorizing all the fundamental patterns of human behavior into a comprehensive framework that helps us understand the full spectrum of our psychological makeup. Importantly, each of these behavioral patterns has both light and shadow characteristics, the light side representing the positive, constructive aspects that empower and uplift, while the shadow embodies the darker, often repressed or destructive traits that can sabotage us if ignored. For instance, the archetype of the mother in its light form manifests as nurturing, protective, and life-giving, fostering growth and emotional security in others, but in its shadow, it can become smothering, overly controlling, or even devouring, leading to dependency and stifled independence. Similarly, the leader archetype in the light is visionary, inspiring, and just, guiding groups toward shared goals with wisdom and strength, whereas its shadow might emerge as tyrannical, domineering, or manipulative, using power for personal gain at the expense of others. Now that we've explored the concept of archetypes and their profound influence on our behavior, let's shift our focus to the extraordinary life of Muhammad Ali, the man whose larger-than-life presence captivated the world, to set the stage for our Jungian archetypal analysis on Jung the Shadow Decoder. To understand how these universal patterns shaped him, let's briefly recap the iconic moments that defined his journey. Born Cassius Clay in 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky, Ali rose from humble beginnings to become a global legend, first bursting onto the scene by winning an Olympic gold medal in boxing at the 1960 Rome Games at just 18 years old. Renaming himself Muhammad Ali after converting to Islam, he shocked the world by defeating Sonny Liston in 1964 to claim the heavyweight championship, showcasing not only his unparalleled skill, but his electrifying charisma and sharp-witted trash-talking that made him a cultural phenomenon. Beyond the ring, Ali's refusal to be drafted into the Vietnam War in 1967, citing his religious beliefs and moral opposition, led to his arrest, a stripped title, and a years-long legal battle. Yet his stand cemented his legacy as a fearless advocate for justice and personal conviction, inspiring millions. His epic battles in the ring, like the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman in 1974 and the Thrilla in Manila against Joe Frazier in 1975, showcased his strategic brilliance and unyielding resilience, earning him the title of the greatest, not just for his athletic prowess, but for his indomitable spirit that resonated far beyond sports. With the tapestry of Muhammad Ali's life laid out before us, let's turn our attention to a powerful pattern of behavior that seems to pulse through his every action, a universal energy that drives individuals to rise above challenges, confront fears, and pursue a greater purpose with relentless courage and strategic focus, often transforming not just themselves, but the world around them through their victories and ideals. Muhammad Ali fits this pattern so perfectly, it's as if he were its living embodiment, his life a vivid illustration of this dynamic force in motion. This pattern, known as the hero archetype, captures the essence of a figure who hears a call to action, steps boldly into the unknown, and fights for something bigger than themselves, armed with resilience, charisma, and an unyielding will to succeed. Ali's journey aligns seamlessly with this archetype because he didn't just dominate the boxing ring. He answered a deeper calling to challenge injustice, defy societal expectations, and inspire millions, whether by standing firm against the Vietnam War draft or outwitting opponents like George Foreman with his rope-a-dope strategy, proving time and again that his strength came not just from physical prowess, but from a heroic spirit that dared to reshape the world while staying true to his principles. Having explored the vibrant energy of the hero archetype that pulses through Muhammad Ali's life, let's now zoom in on its radiant light aspects, those qualities that shine brightest when this archetype is in balance, illuminating a path of triumph and inspiration without falling into the traps of excess or aggression. In its light, this archetype manifests as a dynamic force of success, characterized by a laser-focused sense of direction, infectious dynamism, resolute firmness in actions, and an unshakable resilience that turns obstacles into stepping stones, all underpinned by a powerful drive to live at the edge of one's potential, lead with authenticity, and inspire others through bold, purposeful action. These individuals radiate a magnetic charisma, plan with precision to achieve their goals, and honor their inner truth, forging a legacy that uplifts those around them. Muhammad Ali embodied these light qualities in moments that defined his legend, like when he stood before the world at the 1960 Rome Olympics, a young Cassius Clay, channeling his disciplined focus into every jab and weave to win the gold medal at just 18. His radiant smile and confident post-victory interviews lighting up the global stage, inspiring a generation to believe in their own potential with a charisma that felt larger than life. Another striking example was his bold declaration before facing Sonny Liston in 1964, when he proclaimed, "I am the greatest," with unwavering conviction, a statement that wasn't mere bravado, but a reflection of his inner resolve and strategic vision as he danced through the ring with electrifying dynamism, outsmarting a feared champion to claim the heavyweight title, his victory a testament to his ability to plan meticulously and act with firmness, galvanizing fans worldwide to cheer for an underdog who led by example. Perhaps most profoundly, Ali's return to boxing after his 1967 draft refusal showcased his resilience and leadership, as he endured a 3-year ban, legal battles, and public vilification, yet emerged to reclaim his title in 1974 against George Foreman. His calm, purposeful demeanor in press conferences, like when he said, "I've done what I said I'd do, I'm back after the fight," reflecting a quiet strength and authenticity that honored his principles while inspiring millions to stand firm in their own truths, proving that the light of the hero archetype can transform personal sacrifice into a universal call for courage and self-belief. While the light of the hero archetype illuminated Muhammad Ali's path to glory and inspiration, no archetype exists without its shadow, and now we turn to explore this darker energy in detail. the imbalanced side that emerges when the hero's drive spirals into excess, transforming courage into recklessness and purpose into division. In its shadow aspect, this archetype breeds intense competitiveness that borders on cutthroat rivalry, aggressive behaviors that lash out without restraint, disloyalty to allies in pursuit of personal gain, a quarrelsome nature that sparks conflicts in every arena, imprudence that ignores consequences, inflexibility that refuses compromise, overwhelming pride that blinds one to flaws, and an ambition so fierce it conquers by sowing discord and pitting people against each other. Ultimately, isolating the individual in a web of their own making, Muhammad Ali reflected these shadow traits in several pivotal moments of his career and life, revealing how even the greatest can falter under this energy's grip. For instance, during his heated rivalry with Joe Frazier in the early 1970s, where Ali's trash-talking escalated into vicious personal attacks, publicly labeling Frazier a gorilla and an Uncle Tom in press conferences and interviews, actions that not only inflamed racial tensions, but divided the boxing community and caused lasting emotional harm to Frazier, showcasing Ali's aggressive and quarrelsome side that conquered through divisive rhetoric rather than unity. Another stark example unfolded in his 1967 fight against Ernie Terrell, whom Ali punished relentlessly in the ring while repeatedly shouting, "What's my name?" with each brutal punch. A sadistic display of pride and inflexibility, because Terrell had refused to call him by his new name, prolonging the beating far beyond necessity, and turning a professional bout into a personal vendetta that highlighted his imprudent disregard for sportsmanship and fueled unnecessary conflict. Beyond the ring, Ali's shadow ambition and disloyalty surfaced in his personal relationships, such as his multiple extramarital affairs during his marriages, including his infidelity with Veronica Porche while still wed to Belinda Boyd in the 1970s, behaviors that divided his family and reflected a competitive pursuit of conquests at the expense of loyalty and emotional stability, ultimately leading to divorces and public scrutiny that underscored how this unchecked energy could sabotage the very ideals he championed. The journey of Muhammad Ali as the hero archetype exposes the universal human struggle to rise above fear and fight for a purpose greater than ourselves. When he stood defiant in the ring or spoke boldly against injustice, shouting, "I am the greatest," or "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong," he reminds us that true courage lies in embracing our convictions, even when the world pushes back, daring us to define who we are in the face of adversity. And so, we ask, have you ever felt this archetype stirring in your own life, urging you to stand up and fight for what you believe in? Ali's journey teaches us that, in the Jungian perspective, true strength comes from integrating the light and shadow of the hero within us, balancing the radiant courage to achieve greatness with the humility to avoid the pitfalls of pride and division. By facing his own battles, whether outsmarting opponents like Sonny Liston with strategic brilliance or enduring exile for his principles, Ali reflects our own inner struggles to harness our ambitions without letting them consume us. Here at JUNG the Shadow Decoder, we dive deep into these invisible forces that shape our lives, uncovering the archetypes that drive us. Ask yourself, how do you balance your own heroic drive with the shadows that threaten to pull you off course? Look closely at yourself. Where you see repetitive behaviors, know that an archetype is at work, pulling the strings of your unconscious. Muhammad Ali's story isn't just a tale of triumphs and flaws. It's a mirror to your own battles, a call to feel the fire of your inner hero and channel it with purpose and heart. If his journey moved you, stirred something deep within, or made you question your own path, hit that like button to honor his legacy. Subscribe to JUNG the Shadow Decoder to keep exploring the forces that shape us, and drop a comment below sharing how the hero archetype has shown up in your life. Your story could spark the next revelation for someone else in our community.
If you've journeyed with us through Muhammad Ali's life as the hero archetype on JUNG the Shadow Decoder, you've seen how an invisible force shaped his fearless stand against injustice, his electrifying victories in the ring, and even his struggles with pride and division, revealing the universal human battle to rise above fear and fight for a greater purpose. But what if the same powerful archetype is at work within you, silently guiding your decisions, your triumphs, and your setbacks? You've witnessed how Ali's story mirrors the patterns that drive us all. But true self-knowledge goes beyond understanding why you act the way you do. It's about gaining the power to shape your destiny, refine your character, and turn your inner struggles into strengths that propel you towards success. In my ebook, The Archetype Hack, I hand you the complete roadmap for this transformative journey. With it, you'll discover your dominant archetype and uncover your true essence. Learn how to illuminate your psychological shadow to transform unwanted emotions into fuel for your spiritual growth. Engage in a self-inquiry exercise to rewrite the limiting beliefs that hold you back. And study the 12 main archetypes to freely activate their energies whenever you need them. Imagine harnessing the discipline of a born leader or the courage of a world-changing innovator. Just as Ali channeled his heroic fire to redefine his hero, those same energies are within your reach. And that's not all. To ensure you turn this knowledge into real, life-changing action, I've included 2 powerful bonuses as valuable as the book itself: a self-hypnosis technique to conquer self-sabotage once and for all, and the Nikola Tesla 369 method, an unbeatable tool to manifest any goal you desire. These aren't just extras, they're the keys to unlocking a new reality. Look closely at yourself. Where you see repetitive behaviors, know that an archetype is at work pulling the strings of your unconscious. You now face a choice. Keep watching the stories of icons like Ali, or start rewriting your own. The journey to your fullest potential begins today. Click the link below to grab the Archetype Hack and take control of your story. Don't wait another moment to become the creator of your own destiny. Hit that like button if Ali's journey inspired you. Subscribe to JUNG the Shadow Decoder to keep decoding the forces within. And share in the comments how you're ready to unleash your own archetypal power.